Aries, I'm Eleanor and welcome to Peaches by Starlight Tarot. This is your weekly pick-a-card reading. We're discussing your monthly energy of the Ace of Wands, which is going to be your power this month and your inspiration to do something new, and your weekly energy of coherence. So this is where your mind, body, and soul kind of gel together and activate this wand. Like it's just a stick until all of your parts are in alignment, and then it comes alive and is able to do magic for you. I'm using the Law of Attraction Tarot and the Tiger and Dragon I Ching. I have stack 1, 2, and 3. They're timestamped below if you want to choose one or more than one and skip right to it. If this is too general, this is a reading for out there in the YouTube world. If you would like a personal or private one, I do email readings, and you can find those on my Etsy page linked below. The videos where these cards came out are also linked below. Subscribe if you want to keep up with my weekly readings. I do 5 readings a month. Share if you hear anything that will help a friend. Comment if you have any questions, all that good stuff. Let's get started with stack 1. You have the King of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and 54, Marrying Maiden, as it's called in this particular version of the I Ching. So Aries, this is going to be talking about committing your mind, body, and soul to fighting the good fight. And what that means in the sense, though, isn't going to exactly be not one of bold action. It's going to be a situation where your power doesn't lie in big statements and big words and big actions. There's a sense of not being the one in control in this situation. So where your power, when I talk about fighting the good fight, it's going to be in subtlety. It's going to be in observing patterns, taking notes, going unobserved, slipping below the radar, and doing your work almost like kind of covertly, and being almost a wallflower, being almost a spy, kind of just doing your work and doing what you have to do, journaling, recording everything that's happening, and preparing a case or something like that. But it's not, when I say that you don't have a lot of power in the situation, what I mean is to act boldly and to act decisively. But your power is going to be in your actions that you do by kind of blending into the background and being on the down low. Because if you can avoid being an upstart now, all that work is definitely going to pay off later when the time is right. When you play your cards right, as they say. That's what I want to say. Play your cards right. All right, stack 2, you have the Two of Wands, the Magician, and number 2, Receptive. So the way these two people, the way this guy is, this one and this one, they're kind of looking over their shoulder, and it's like looking back at the past. This card here is about reorienting yourself in the present so that you can make mindful and decisive choices and actions. So this is going to be a warning against acting impulsively based on past patterns. Using your go-to, whatever your go-to isn't what you're called to right now. It's going to be about observing the reality of the present and making choices and making bold moves from the reality of the present and not what you may be imagining. So there's not room for conjecture. There's a call to not act based on what you think or what you perceive, only based on what you know to be true right now. So in order to do so, you have to be fully present and fully observing what your senses are telling you and what you're hearing. And so it's because this one has, when this card comes up, it isn't necessarily positive or negative. It's potential energy. And so there is the potential wrapped up in that for this to be destructive if you use it impulsively and if you aren't doing your work around being mindful about the situation that you're actually in and being realistic. So you have to be able to get in alignment with have your intentions in full alignment as they relate to your objectives. So being fully aware of where you are now and what is true now, and being very clear on where it is that you want to go, and be strategic. Strategic is the word I want to use right here. Strategic, mindful action, and not relying on past patterns, not relying on your go-to, and being aware and vigilant. Stack 3, you have the 3 of Swords, 7 of Swords, and 37, which is family. What I'm seeing in this little tunnel here, it reminds me very much of what probably the inside of a cabin of a plane without all the fancy seats and stuff. There's a closed system. And the family unit they're talking about here, this is going to be a closed system. Your closed support system and your loved ones. So there's like a gelling of people, of support, of loved ones. With this 3 of Swords, it does feel like the outer world is trying to break you down, that there is a lot of conflict, that there's a lot of pain, and there's senses of loss, senses of people after you, all those things that cause stress and anxiety and heartbreak and all those, that it's tough out there is what I'm hearing. It's tough out there. And so there's a need to surround yourself with the nest of people that love you, and the coherence is your place in the gel of a loving unit. And where Swords are going to be talking about communication, there's a sense here to where you want to use this time to replenish yourself, to refill your cup, to almost like put it like, so with this wand I talk about activation, it's like you need to be put on your charger, your love charger. Be like, for me personally, skin to skin contact during the night and sleep, that's like my charger. And I feel more recharged when I've had skin to skin contact overnight versus if I sleep alone. I don't have this, it's not the same thing. So that's kind of like a physical example of what I'm talking about in order to reactivate this. And so the coherence is going to be the gel of the people around you and your support system, you being kind of locked in onto your little charging station thing. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Comment if you want to know more, I want to talk more, or get a personal reading. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you in a week.